now quantum change, meaning that if I don't like the way that Jack in the Box around there treating our people, I love what Dino and them doing, but we're going to put 10,000 people on the ground and shut it down today and forever. So if you open back up, it's on our terms. In Garvey's organization, it had 20 people. Malcolm in the Nation
That's
is
a lot.
Yeah, but the 20 came over Garvey did all that in 10 years. In 10 years, he amassed 16 million people. In 10 years. You think Garvey knew 6 million people? Hell no.
We've actually started to talk also about like, well, if you save $50 on your grocery bill, at the end of it you have $200 or $300. That, if it's going to help you to not get evicted out of a community that you belong to, right? Or if it's going to mean that, you know, you save, you know, $500 to take your family to an outing to keep your family together, right? That's kind of some of the messaging that we've been on. Also, you know, we have actually, you know, initially this started off with just very few people, but now it's been actually like Jade and TK, who have been a part of Black Lives Matter. They've been coming and providing support, and then some people that we ran into actually in Inglewood, and they call themselves like citizens of Inglewood. And you know, also what's happened is that, well, first, you know, I think a big part of what we wanted to do was first, like, to not, as far as having a name or not having a name, we wanted to really not to have like, oh, this is an organization or this is a group of people, because there is such a lack of trust in this community, right? So we wanted to say like, oh, we're just, you know, we're just people that are living in this neighborhood. You know, we're your neighbor, we're the person that walks down the street, you know, we're people that are very concerned about what's happening here. As far as first the lack of access, also looking at the police presence and the really specifically the pushing out of Black people from this neighborhood, the gentrification. And then, you know, as a result of, as you know, it's been pretty consistent now week after week on Sundays. Now we have like, and it's really, I mean, it's really, really great because it's actually a lot of like single women that are coming. There's actually a woman that had come this past weekend with her 8-year-old daughter. Her 8-year-old daughter is like contributing to the food program and just kind of really helping out. Then there's like also a lot of like older people, elderly people. There's this woman actually, before we even got there, if you remember, it was like 3:30, and before we got there, she was there with her whole cart because she lives in a senior living facility right on Crenshaw and Florence. You know, and then there's like a bunch of women that are like, you know, we really want to help, we want to contribute, we want to come out here. Also, you know, as far as like really talking about, because we're actually at a location where they're building one of 4 housing complexes, and you know, the complex that they're building is actually, the reason that we're there is because to rent from the unit that they're going to build, you have to earn $104,000 a year. And so there's been a lot of messaging that's been going out to people there. Also, we've had like week after week, actually Michael has been calling, and we've really centered it around Black people. So we've been mostly calling only Black people, where they've gotten calls now week after week. You know, they know that this is happening. But I think the piece that we're having, and then, you know, we have like a little 4x7 booklet, and you know, there's again the part on mutual aid, like being your neighbor's keeper, you know, really kind of changing the culture of the neighborhood, and then the gentrification and policing part is like really strong in that. So I think, you know, if we can like look also at that and say like, is this sufficient? Is this, and then, you know, kind of moving forward. For today's meeting, you know, we have like a handful of people in the community that are saying we want to be involved. So how to really kind of bridge them into this effort is something that we want to, you know, and I've been also telling Michael and other folks that have been involved in this that like it doesn't, you know, it doesn't matter if we have, you know, right now 15 people. If we can just go 4
that's
people.
Change the world.
And just to add on to that, I mean, the whole aspect of what we're doing and the vision in which we see is centered in not just that mutual aid, but that upliftment.
Okay.
the whole aspect. We tend to, as black people,
We have Ace and
to have
Stefan.
to have a real destructive force with each other.
They're gonna come, but they're here.
And see, I'm not really.
Why she get them? Okay, this is what I want to know. Okay, I like what she said about keeping the community thing.
Yeah.
That's great. But is the intent to take it to the next level? Because my whole thing is make a model of this community, and then that can be transferable.
No, that's what I'm pointing at now. The whole aspect of what this is if it was to be centered, I wouldn't. That's not my
Exactly. The big
that's
picture.
not my mission. My mission is not to center it to one particular. That's not who I am.
Right.
So the aspect.
Yeah, because our people is
me coming to my people is not
all
going me coming to my people, but me coming to my people. But I mean, at this point, it's at a we're at an elevated stage.
Right.
However, we're still very much, still just getting our ankle wet.
Exactly, and that's what we want to talk about tonight. So basically, we want to discuss things that's going to help and motivate. You know, the help. You know what I'm saying, family?
Yeah.
Like that. How you doing, family? Brother Kemet.
Ace.
Brother Kemet.
Ace, bro.
How you doing? Hakeem.
How you doing, family? Brother Kemet.
Yeah.
Brother Kemet.
Hakeem.
Stefan, my brother, pleasure.
All right.
Sit, family.
Well, thank you. It's a
How
pleasure
you
to be
doing?
here.
Hakeem.
Jesse.
How you doing, Jesse?
And we just talk about some liberation, some revolution. You know what we do.
Hey, that's what I like, you know? What was y'all talking about?
We're waiting for like a few more people, but
Oh,
we should
okay.
keep talking. Yeah.
You know, one of the things you were saying, Jody, was like, you have all these things that you're doing in the community, right? And one of the things that we want to talk about is like, how do you prioritize those things? Because you have all these things you want to do, but how do you put it in some order? It's like, okay, the community, this is a pressing question.
Yeah.
And when that right, so now you prioritize. Now that becomes your organizing tool. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we talked about today.
Yeah, I'm Brother Kemet, man. My father was an organizer for Marcus Garvey, Kwame
Okay.
and Mikasa Riggs, the one that coined the phrase Black Power.
Okay.
That's my comrade. And my godfather, which is right down the road, is Earl Grant. That was Malcolm X's best friend. Last one I talked to Malcolm before he passed. And they started the OAU together. Actually, when Malcolm left the nation, they went, him, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Billy, and his wife started OAU. And I was telling Jordan, she was saying, it's only 7 or 8 people in the group. But what I was expressing to her, that, Malcolm and 5, my elder said like this, we started with enough people to fit in the Volkswagen. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not about numbers, and they shook up the world. Garvey organization only had 20 people. People don't know that. And they amassed 6 million. That joined the organization. So we just try to figure out, what way they want to go and some organizing thing, because we've been around organizers all my life. I've been doing this 35 years. And we just wanted to share some of the organizing principles, how Kwame them did it, how Snake did it, how the OAU did it, how Garvey did it. That's important. Anytime you start, a grassroots organization, you have to, have set principles and certain goals, or if not, it's just gonna be moments, and there's a difference between a moment and a movement. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, is this a movement or is it a moment? And what coalition is gonna be developed? It's kind of stuff like that. So we just kind of really just want to talk about some organizing principles, and then how we get to the community to bring them, in the fold. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the organization might not need but 10, but to actually put the real work in, when you want to go shut something down, when you go 10, 20 deep, you got their attention. When you go 10, 20,000 deep, you got their attention. And that could be done, It's just a structure to it. I was telling Jordan, it's like where they giving out food at. The way my elders taught us was, you take a pencil, make that circle around that community. That's your target community for now. You handle that business there, get the people behind you in your organization and what you're trying to do, and then you can move that any way you want around the city. But, it's feeding people is cool, but with those bags of food, it want to be some kind of pride and dignity. attached to that, you know what I mean? And it has to be the invitation to, hey, come join your own liberation. You're welcome, you know? And we don't give a shit about your grammar, we don't give a shit about your education, we don't give a shit about your record, we don't give a shit about none of that. You know, you can still be asset. My elder always say this to me all the time. Say at the end of the day, all the people that was around Malcolm at the end was prisoners. He know for a fact because he wouldn't pick them up, you know what I'm saying? He's the only people Malcolm could trust, you know, with his life. So at the end of the day, man, it's about, you know, how do you build this structure? How do you make it work? But we just filling all that out now right before y'all came in. So I'm just putting you up to speed where we were, so everybody's in on the same conversation. So that's what we have with it.
So you know, when you talk about blessed,
man, I grew up with Dr. Ben and them, and you know, they was about it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They wasn't playing with revolution.
Dr. Ben, yeah. I think I've seen him on YouTube.
Yeah, Dr. Ben, that's my man. Yeah, him and my elder was best friends, and Dr. Clark too. Dr. Clark, when Dr. Clark got to Harlem, first person he met was my godfather, Earl Grant. Got him his first job at a bookstore. Spent all his money buying books. Didn't keep money to eat.
Is he the same one that
had John Henry Clark.
Yeah, but he's talking about Israel.
Yeah.
Anti-Semitism.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah,
that's him. Huh?
Yeah, if you want a real good piece of the wise school, you just ain't doing nothing. You can get it on YouTube. Pull up John Henry Clark, A Great Mighty Walk. That was his last.
Great what?
A Great Mighty Walk. He takes us on that ride all the way from the pyramids all the way up to the day.
Oh, he's highly knowledgeable.
Yeah, man, he's that guy. So, see, what happened was the way they got to be that deep when they were in Harlem, on top of Schomburg Bookstore, J.A. Rogers had an office. Mm-hmm. Now J.A. Rogers was the man. Mm-hmm. So
that's the one let me see. No, that's somebody else.
Okay, so J.A. Rogers, when you go in his office, he the only one had a chair. Nkrumah, President Nkrumah, Professor Grant, Dr. Clark, and them just sit on the floor, listen to the master teachers. So that's how they got introduced to, know thyself from the master teachers. So, and that's how, and then every one of them, that's where Malcolm went after my godfather went after they killed Malcolm. He had to go to Ghana to be with Nkrumah, there for a year, because they tried to assassinate him too. So yeah, it's like that.
So that means it was more than what they said it was.
Yeah, sometimes we get into that.
He was, my little research was talking about, he was saying there was a struggle from Dominican to Cuba to anybody who was dropped off over there. Was just one. I've seen some, a lot of stuff I read myself.
Yeah.
Things that you're referring to. Yeah. Some of the, it was a unified thing against color as more so than here. This was individual type thing. He could prove, and I think this is what they killed him for, he could prove it was much more sophisticated, systematic of keeping us apart.
Worldwide oppression. Yeah. That's why Castro fought with Angola, fought with Africa. That's why our comrade, Woody Ricks, Bokassa Dada, the one quarter-faced Black Power, he fought with the Sandinistas. Mm-hmm. He even fought with Idi Amin. Idi Amin gave him his name, Bokassa Dada. Mm-hmm. Idi Amin gave him that name personally. Soldier. Me and King bring him out here 2 or 3 times a year just to fire the soldiers up, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you guys get a chance to meet him, but
thank you.
Serious brother, man. This brother's so serious. Him and Kwame was doing a protest, right? Mm-hmm. So, cracks being cracks down south, he bust his head. Went to the doctor shot him 5 times. And he's still a revolutionary. This is no game when you talk about liberating the minds of our people from oppression. It's like what Jordy was saying, now what we have to really understand is the difference between a moment and a movement. A moment is I'm gonna address this particular issue right here, but it's not really I'm not really mobilizing the whole community, the people. And there's ways to do that. It's not that hard. Others have already did it for us. They've already gave us the blueprint for that. It's just addressing people, just like what we're doing down back in Detroit and Atlanta right now. Like right now, it's getting cold. Ever since April, we were collecting jackets and shit. because it's freezing back there. So now they'll give out jackets and shit, caps, chilly nights, you know. This is just saying to people, you ain't alone. So I was telling Jordy, every time that they give out a bag of food, one of these ought to be attached to it, a 3x5, with what we doing, this is why we're here, and we got you. We got you. They have to know you there. And then once you do that, and you give them an opportunity to volunteer. See, it ain't just if they can pay dues or not, you can still be a part of this, you ain't gotta have no money. Your time is important. Your time is valuable. Everybody's important. Like I said, we don't care about your grammar. We don't care about your prison record. We don't give a shit about none of that. If you want to serve, if you want to be a part of the solution, here's a home for you. We have to open it up that way, and the community will get behind that, because they've been waiting on you. Trust me when I tell you, they've been waiting on you, and it's only going to get worse. So if a motherfucker don't do something now, you can write us off in about 10 years. It'll be too late to wage this fight. But the problem is, you know, the only place in the world success coming from work is in the dictionary. Nobody want to put the work in. You got to have boots on the ground. Sunday I'm giving out food. Saturday I'm going to have my whole street team knocking on fucking doors, introducing myself to everybody in the community, let you know what's going on, what's happening, how can we serve you. And we're going to give you an opportunity to come be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I mean, you know, that's when you build an army. So now we can say, okay, we boycott Jack in the Box, we get on the horn, we got 20,000 people out there.